guys, to the review of the Novritsch SSG24. I'm going to do a quick overview of the gun, just for anyone who might be watching this video that is watching it to learn about the gun. Then after that, I'm going to answer some questions that maybe you might have if you're watching this video for another reason. We're going to do some shooting tests, range and accuracy. I'm also going to show you the modifications that I've done to my rifle. One thing that a lot of people have asked, how can I make my SSG more quiet? And I've done some things to make mine more quiet. I'm not going to say it's the quietest rifle in the world, but it's a lot more quiet than it was stock, and it's definitely more quiet than some other sniper rifles I've heard or seen out on the field. So it's quiet enough for me, and maybe it'll help you to make yours more quiet too, or get it where you want it to be with that. Otherwise, we're going to do maybe a little bit of gameplay, and yeah, we'll give an overall impression of the rifle, what I think about it overall, and maybe that'll help you decide if you want to buy one, or you know, maybe you can tell me if you agree or disagree with what I'm saying. And yeah, so let's get right into it with the rifle overview. So some quick information about the rifle. It can handle springs up to an M190 out of the box. It's got some strong steel steers in there. It's got a 6.01 millimeter aluminum barrel. Now, yeah, I know a lot of you are going to hate on the aluminum, but I've read a lot of people have actually tried different barrels. They've tried the steel type bores and custom barrels and things like that, and they haven't gotten better results than the aluminum. So I'm not going to say there's not a better option out there, but what I will say about this is if you can't show me something better, then don't knock the aluminum barrel, because it's been performing well for me. So this is sold as a rifle that needs no modification out of the box. It's supposed to be like a very upgraded option to buy, take out of the box, and play with. I can agree with this because it performs very well. I have built a couple of VSRs myself, complete, you know, Laylax upgrades, Action Army, whatever you want to do. I've built some myself. I'm not going to say that I'm a master VSR builder or anything like that, but what I will say is this SSG is performing out of the box as well or better than the other ones that I've built. So moving on to the stock, it is a glass reinforced polymer. Makes it pretty durable, pretty strong. I mean, it definitely feels beefy, so it feels like it can take a little bit of a beating and it'll be just fine. It's got steel bipod stud and screws. The stud that connects the outer barrel to the stock is made of steel, so that's going to help keep that from stripping out or anything like that. It's kind of an important piece, keeps your barrel steady. Moving down to the end here, you can't really see it well because I've got this on mine, but this butt pad is completely adjustable. There's a ring you can turn and adjust this in and out so it can fit the length of your arms perfectly. It also has an enlarged trigger guard here, so it can be used easily with gloves if you're a player that uses gloves. I personally don't use it with gloves, but I can definitely see there's plenty of room. If you are going to use it with gloves, you should have no problems with that. Going on to the receiver assembly here itself, it's CNC aluminum. It's each one has a unique serial number, so that's kind of a cool thing. So looking a little bit inside the gun, the nozzle length is supposed to be optimized so that it puts the BB in the same place every time for every shot, so consistency, very important in sniper rifles. It's also supposed to put it in the perfect spot in the hop up so it gets the optimum contact with the hop arm, gives you the best, you know, the best hop up that you can get. It's got a steel spring guide. It's got also a hard anodized aluminum cylinder head, so that cylinder head should be able to withstand quite a lot of wear. Looking at the trigger, something kind of cool about this rifle, it's a two-stage 90-degree trigger. So you can actually adjust it also. So it's got two stages. It pulls partially, and then you can feel exactly when the trigger is going to break. Something I've never used on a rifle before up to this point, but I really enjoyed having it on this. It's made a difference for me knowing exactly when your shot's going to launch off there. Going into the hop-up, something I think that makes this rifle so accurate out of the box. The hop-up arm is CNC machine, so it fits perfectly in there. You don't have any wobble or anything like that, so it gets an even contact with the BB. And I've had no issues with it. Adjusts very easily. There's also some marks on the side of the gun on your adjuster, so you can see exactly where you're adjusting it to. Something that's good if maybe you switch BB weights or something like that, or if you take it apart to clean it, you got to put it back where you wanted it before. So the inner barrel, again, it's aluminum, 6.01, 475 millimeter barrel. It's got barrel spacer, I believe, in the middle and in the end cap, a little rubber O-ring, keep the barrel in place, reduce vibrations. That also probably plays a factor in the accuracy. We'll talk about the magazine real quick. So the magazine is a 28 round magazine. Feeds very well. I've never once had a feeding issue with this yet. I know in some of the Gen 1 guns they did have some feeding issues, but they updated the mags and I haven't heard anything about it since. Should be all good on that. The magazines are transparent, so you can just look at them real quick, see exactly how many shots you've got left in there. Something I didn't think much of until I actually started using it out on the field, and I've actually been very grateful for that feature. It's pretty helpful when you can see exactly how many shots you have left and if you need to reload. Things like that. The overall length with the buttstock fully extended, 1,155 millimeters. It's a pretty long gun, but hey, it's a sniper rifle. What do you expect? Its total weight is 2,600 grams, so it's not the lightest rifle in the world, but it's lighter than like some of the gas guns that I've used previously. So if you're used to using a VSR all the time, you might think it's a little heavy, but that could be a pro or a con. Having a little bit of weight makes it feel a little more durable to me, so that's going to end up being a personal preference thing. Some last things to note, it includes a case when you order it. The case is, I wouldn't say anything to write home about, but it's not a bad case by any means. It holds the rifle perfectly fine and does its job, so no complaints on that. When you buy the gun, you also get some video guides that tells you how to take it apart, how to clean it, how to maintain it, things like that. Very useful, especially if you're new to sniping, which a lot of people might be getting this gun, which is a, no modification out of the box. So those video guides are great. Comes with a bottle of BBs. I got 0.46 gram BBs with mine, which is awesome because that's what I use in it anyway. So it was nice to have that little extra bottle of BBs come with it so you can use it right away if you don't have any on hand. Comes with a sniper patch. I believe it came with a modify patch also. It also comes with the cleaning rod, which is typical with any gun. But those couple little extras are kind of cool. You can throw that sniper patch. I put it on my gun bag. I play primarily as a sniper, so it's kind of a cool little perk to get with the gun. So that's the overview of the video. Like I said before, we're going to go ahead and do some shooting tests and range and accuracy. Maybe answer that question that I see everyone. 300 feet seems to be like the magic number. Everyone asks, can you hit someone at 300 feet? And I'll show you my modifications. Maybe I can help you make your gun a little more quiet. Show you what I did to mine. Then we'll talk about the overall impressions of this gun. Maybe I'll help you decide if you want to buy it or not. So yeah, let's get right into that. Alright, so this is the target we're going to be shooting today. The target in the center is a 6-inch by 6-inch target, so keep that in mind when we're looking at it at a distance. And then the box, as you can see, is about what you'd expect from a torso size. I mean, it's just about that size. You think about a target maybe with a plate carrier or something on, or especially somebody kneeling down. This is about the size target that you're going to be shooting at, especially when we get out to the distance of like 300. All right, so we're here with the SSG24. We're about to do the 150-foot range test. We already know this gun is powerful and accurate, so I'm not going to bore everyone with doing 75 feet or 100 feet. We're just going to go start right at 150, see what this thing can do. Using 4.6 Novritsch BBs. I'm shooting from rested position. It's a couple slight breezes here, so we shouldn't have too much affected by that.
Alright, we are 300 feet now, 100 yards, measured with a laser rangefinder. That target's looking pretty small from this distance. We're going to see if we can hit it from here. Now, the target is 6 inches by 6 inches, but the box is about torso size, so really at this distance, that box is the target. That's my goal, is to hit the box, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, so here are the modifications that I did to my rifle to make it more quiet. The main thing that I did is I took a small piece of an aluminum pop can and cut out this, just a small piece with scissors, just big enough to fit around the spring guide. So basically you just cut that piece out and slide it over the spring guide like that, and then slide your spring back on over top of it. You just wrap the piece of aluminum can over top there, and then slide your spring all the way on. So basically this just makes it a tighter fit, so the spring can't wobble at all. There's no room between the spring and the guide, so you don't get that metallic twang sound when you shoot. The second modification that I did is I made a mock suppressor and put some foam in it. I just made this out of cardboard, and you can kind of see there, it's just a cardboard tube that I painted, and I put some foam inside of it. If you have the suppressor adapter to go on the end of this, this will work just as well. You can get this foam. I just used a foam paint roller and pulled the plug out of the center and just insert it right into your suppressor or whatever you're going to use on the end. And lastly, what I did was I took some thicker, more dense foam. This is actually foam pipe insulation, and I cut it to the shape to fill the inside of the stock, and I just filled all of the empty spaces in there like so. I just kind of crammed it in every little spot that I could just to fill all the empty spaces, and that helps reduce the vibration a little bit of the gun when you fire. So those are all the modifications that I did to make my gun more quiet. You can try those out. Hopefully that will help you make yours quiet as well. So for build quality, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. The only reason I've got to knock down a couple points is because I've read a lot about a couple people having trouble with certain screws stripping out, and that's a little issue that can be a big hassle, so it's a 9 out of 10 for build quality. Performance, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because you can take it out of the box, and as we've seen in the test earlier, you can hit something, a person-sized target at 300 feet, out of the box with no modifications, so it just performs well, and I like things that just work. As far as value goes, I'm going to also give this a 10 out of 10. I know it's an expensive gun, but you have to think about what you're getting for that. You get a gun that performs as well as a gun that you could build for a similar price, and it's also going to be probably better quality than a gun that you could build for that. As far as the materials go, it's just a sturdy gun, and I'm going to give it a good value because of that, and it comes with a case and a couple other goodies right out of the box. As far as awesomeness goes, I'm gonna also give this a 10 out of 10. And I'm doing that because, like mentioned earlier, it's a gun that you can just buy and it works. It just works out of the box. You don't have to do any modifications if you don't want to. And I think that's really great, especially for newer players that may be less experienced. So for awesomeness, it gets a 10 out of 10. So overall, that leaves this rifle at a score of 9.75 out of 10. Highly recommend buying it if you're thinking about getting into sniping, or you're just thinking about getting this as an additional rifle to add to your collection. Definitely no regrets on my part for buying this. I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe I answered some of your questions about the SSG24. If you want to see some gameplay with this, then feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. So I'll definitely be doing some of those in the future. I'll also be doing some more gun reviews, so if you want to see that, then feel free to follow me, and I hope to see you next time.